President Trump says he's considering getting rid of FEMA after visiting Hurricane Helene victims in North Carolina and touring the ravaged parts of California with the wildfires.
WGN's Shannon Halligan has the story.
Yeah, the president made several stops today surveying disaster zones in North Carolina and California. He also said several times he plans to overhaul or eliminate the government agency that helps in emergencies.
Everybody thought I was going to California. I said, no, I'm stopping in North Carolina first because they've been abused by what's happened.
President Donald Trump made his first trip, touring parts of North Carolina devastated by Hurricane Helene in September. He vowed speedy support, but also signaled sweeping changes to the Federal Emergency Management Agency.
We will get them back very quickly, and we'll begin the work of fundamentally changing, terminating, or overhauling FEMA. FEMA's been a disaster, no matter where they are.
FEMA is the federal agency that helps respond to disasters when local leaders request a presidential emergency declaration, a signal that the damage is beyond the state's ability to handle on its own. But during a press briefing in Asheville, President Trump said he plans to issue an order that may eliminate the agency.
I'll also be signing an executive order to begin the process of fundamentally reforming and overhauling FEMA, or maybe getting rid of FEMA. I think, frankly, FEMA is not good. I think when you have a problem like this, I think you want to go and, whether it's a Democrat or Republican governor, you want to use your state to fix it and not waste time calling FEMA.
Trump then traveled to California to survey areas devastated by wildfires. He was met by Governor Gavin Newsom.
Most importantly, thank you for being here. It means a great deal to all of us, and not just the folks in Palisades, the folks in Altadena that were devastated. We're going to need your support. We're going to need your help. You were there for us during COVID. I don't forget that. And I have all the expectations that we'll be able to work together to get this speedy recovery.
The two gestured toward cooperation despite their political history.
We got to get it finished. We're looking to get something completed. And the way you get it completed is to work together. He's the governor of the state. And we're going to get it completed. They're going to need a lot of federal help. Unless you don't need any, which you'll be okay.
We're going to need a lot of federal help.
So we're going to take care of things. Okay?
President Trump has not yet mentioned putting conditions on federal aid, as he's previously indicated he would do. In the newsroom, Shannon Halligan, WGN News.
Shannon, thank you. Attorneys for former Illinois House Speaker Michael Madigan are expected to resume closing arguments in his federal corruption trial on Monday. Madigan and his longtime political advisor Michael McClain are both charged with bribery, racketeering, and other crimes. Prosecutors argue that those men ran public and private operations like a criminal enterprise in order to consolidate the former speaker's power. Madigan's attorneys say he's a hardworking and humble politician who's always willing to help. The jury is not expected to get this case until later next week.
Well, more than 2,600 runners are getting ready for Chicago's first competitive race of the year, which is also usually one of the coldest. The Winter Half Marathon and 5K races are an annual running community tradition along the lakefront, now in its 16th year. The race has a unique course that starts at Soldier Field. It's so popular, it sells out each year, even though the real field temperature on race day is usually well below 0 degrees. Runners will take their marks today at 10.
A special rescue operation taking place on the Potomac River in Washington, D.C. yesterday.
The SPCA and D.C. police and fire departments worked together to rescue a deer stranded in the middle of the frozen river. You can see the rescuers used an airboat to get close to the animal. Then they tied a rope around the deer and hoisted it inside. The SPCA says the deer is safe and back to where it belongs. All right, well, coming up at 7:30, a judge holds Dalton Mayor Tiffany Henyard in contempt over several liquor licenses.
Also ahead this Saturday morning, the White Sox make an announcement to honor one of their own at Sox Fest. Chris Bowden has more on that in sports.
Plus, taking a live look outside, Alyssa will have our full forecast coming up next. It comes with a warm-up.
I looked up Oh, mic check 1, 2, 3. Check, check, check. I should wear this. Mic check 1, 2, 3. Check, check, check.
All right. Hey, good morning, Alyssa.
Good morning. So we are going to see probably our nicest day we've had in the forecast for quite some time today. We're seeing some sunshine right now, and we're going to continue to see those clouds clear to sunny skies by the afternoon. We're also going to see those temperatures into the mid-30s today. It's 22 right now at O'Hare Airport. Those winds a little bit breezy, but look at this 24-hour temperature change, anywhere between about 15 and 26 degrees warmer than we were at this time yesterday. So already a huge change in just how it feels outside. Still feels like the single digits for some locations, but feels like the teens to the south of us. And we're actually going to see those wind chills become less of a factor as we head through the afternoon. Even though we're going to see some strong winds throughout the day, those are coming out of the southwest, so those are going to help advect in a little bit warmer air. Seeing those winds right now sustained about 10 to 15 miles per hour, expecting those gusts today to reach up to about 25 to 30 miles per hour later this afternoon. So it is going to be a bit of a breezy day. Temperature is going to climb into the mid-30s, possibly even upper 30s, especially to the south as we head through this afternoon. Yesterday's highs were in the low 20s, so we're climbing more than 10 degrees today. So you're really going to feel that when you step outside. Clearing to the north right now, we're still hanging on to some of that cloud coverage across our southern counties and into northwest Indiana. That's going to continue to clear out as we head through this afternoon, expecting mostly sunny skies. By this evening, a little bit more cloud coverage moves through as a quick disturbance passes across Illinois and northwest Indiana. And then we'll start tomorrow with a little bit of cloud coverage as well, but some peaks of sunshine later in the day. Here's our setup. So we had that low that moved through last night, brought us just a few flurries across the area and left us with some morning clouds. High pressure taking control today, and that's going to help clear out a lot of our cloud coverage. We'll see another disturbance move through to the north of us as we head into Monday, which will bring us another set of just some cloud coverage, but we're staying dry as we head through the next several days here. What What we are going to see tomorrow is that cold air dip back down to the south, so temperatures will fall off a little bit tomorrow, expecting upper 20s and low 30s, but then we are back into our warming trend early in the work week. That's when we see temperatures back into the 40s, above normal as we look at our 6 to 10 day outlook as well. So temperatures are going to be on the rise. Temperatures today into the mid-30s, breezy conditions. We're going to continue to see that clearing throughout the afternoon with some sunshine later today. Temperatures tonight fall back into the teens. We are going to see those single-digit wind chills once again as our winds shift and become a little bit more northwesterly. Low 30s for our highs on Sunday with some sunshine, and then Monday we're expected to be right into those 30 to 40 degree range marks. So we are going to see those temperatures back well above normal. Here's Josh Friedman with the Check of Sports.
Good morning, everyone. The NHL trade deadline might be 6 weeks away, but two Stanley Cup contenders wanted to get down to business early, and they needed the Blackhawks to get involved. As a result, Taylor Hall dealt to Carolina in a blockbuster three-way transaction. Colorado also gets involved. The Hawks get a return of a third-round draft pick while also absorbing salary, helping the two other clubs. Meanwhile, Hawks in action last night hosting the Lightning. Watch out, Darren Pang. The kids the Hawks are depending on for their future were all right against the Lightning. First, Colton Dach gets his first goal of his NHL career, tying the game at 1 here and celebrating with his teammates. Later on in the opening period, it is Frank Nazar, his second of the season right here in front with the wrister, giving the Hawks the lead. Then 5 minutes into the second, big defenseman Louis Crevier with his third of the year. The old 1-2-3 goal total for that trio gives the Hawks a comfortable 3-1 lead over Tampa. But after the Bolts scored in the final couple seconds of the second, they outshot the Hawks 17-1 in the third, eventually tying it a minute to go and then forcing overtime where they win it here on the power play courtesy of Nikita Kucherov. Second straight game, the Hawks fall 4-3 in overtime. Sox Fest returned after a 5-year hiatus with, what else, an emphasis on the organization's minor league prospects after a major league record 121 losses last season. 3/5 of the starting rotation from the 2005 World Series championship team 20 years ago also on hand to celebrate, including Mark Burley, who's going to be immortalized with a statue at the rate on July 11th. Not something the lefty ever expected as he soaks in retirement and life away from the game since his career ended a decade ago.
It was good to come back and see a couple guys that I haven't talked. I mean, it's probably been 10, 12 years since I've seen some of these guys, so I don't keep in contact with a lot of guys. Maybe a text here and there around Christmas stuff, but it's good to get back and see them and see some video stuff. I mean, it was a long time ago, I can tell you that.
Former Thornton High School sports star Antoine Randall, shown here cheering on a Lions touchdown at Soldier Field, is now headed home as he will join Ben Johnson's staff from Detroit as the new assistant head coach and wide receivers coach. Also making the move from Motown, former Ohio State quarterback J.T. Barrett. He becomes the new quarterbacks coach, and former Packers corner Al Harris comes over from the Cowboys as the new defensive passing game coordinator. And the Bulls back in action tonight as they host the 76ers. That's a look at morning sports. Josh Friedman, WGN News.
All right, thanks so much, Josh. Coming up next, Plant Daddy Tim shows us how to keep the pests away from your houseplants.
Hey, Christine.
Sean and Joel, we are celebrating the Lunar New Year this weekend. We're at Gangnam Market in River West, where today and tomorrow they're going to be giving away free food and drinks in honor of the celebration. And of course, with a purchase, you get a lucky red envelope. And if you've gotten one of these before, they're pretty lucky. They give you access to a lot of things. Here in store, you'll have access to so many of their great prizes. So throughout the morning, we're going to be walking you through their colorful aisles, talking to some of the local vendors. And if you're not familiar with this shop, it's a grocery store. They also have a food court as well as a fully stocked bar. So we'll have more coming up.
Happy New Year, the first garden segment of 2025, and let's hop right into the mailbag. An email from John, who sent in pics of his giant 10-foot ficus he's got inside his home with a touching story attached. He got it as a seedling as a present for his wife when they were dating back in 1990, but she passed away 4 years ago. He says he doesn't have a green thumb, which I definitely disagree with because ficus trees can be very fickle, but he wants to prune it or put it outside and just wanted to see what his options might be. Well, given the size of the plant and the pot, it is most definitely root bound, but it does seem to be doing okay at the moment. There's very few species of ficus that can survive our winters, so most prefer temperatures above 60 degrees, so outside is not an option. What is a viable option for sure is now is about the right time when the plant is most dormant. If you don't want to remove any more than 30% of the plant, though, at any one time to avoid shocking it. So what do you get rid of? First and foremost, get rid of any branches that look diseased or dead, thin out overgrowth within the tree that are crossing over each other, causing congestion. And third, you can work to shape the plant, trimming branches outside that desired shape, keeping it from ceilings, walls, or heaters. Now, after pruning, give it a big drink of water, keep it in a stable environment for optimal recovery. It's always best practices to use clean, sharp pruning shears, and with a ficus, remember to wear gloves to protect your hands because the ficus's sap can be irritating to the skin. You can repot it when you prune it, or you can wait to do the repotting in the spring. A ficus would do well outside around here from June to September if you don't mind hauling it back and forth. Speaking of houseplants, this is the time of year when the light is low, indoor humidity is very low for your plants. That can really notice the effects of pests that might have been making a meal of your plants. Mealybugs, spider mites, thrips are very common plant pests, and their populations can explode when these plants are most vulnerable around this time of the year. The bugs can be almost invisible, but the white-colored honeydew they leave behind, or the webbing in the case of spider mites, is much easier to spot. These infestations on several of my own plants of mealybugs spread rapidly over the holidays when we're all just busy with other stuff. I've tried 2 different remedies this time around. First one with my more standardized concentrated neem oil mixed with water, trimming away really infected leaves first, then completely spraying generously on both sides of the leaves and some in the soil as well, and then checking back in a few days and respraying. I've also tried a new spray, this one just called Houseplant Pest Spray from a Midwest company called Perfect Plantista, based in Iowa. It seems as effective, if not more so, than just neem oil and water, but the biggest bonus is the amazing smell of peppermint oil and cinnamon bark oil. Biggest drawback is that price point. It's about 20 bucks a bottle, and it's a small bottle, so it does work about $2 an ounce when you include shipping, way more than just neem oil alone with concentrated forms mixed with water. Regardless of the initial spraying, with particularly bad infestations, you usually want to follow up with a very soft cloth sprayed with rubbing alcohol and giving a very gentle wipe of each leaf. It is labor intensive, but usually very effective. Now, once you know you've got a problem, you do have to stay on it. Check the leaves for any signs of further insects. And while you're being super attentive anyway, you might as well dust the leaves off your nearby plants as well. This time of the year, just past winter solstice, of lower light levels, they will be thankful for the assist. And in our year-long poinsettia project, if you manage to save one from your holiday decor, you'll notice that some of the old leaves have shriveled up and are losing some of their color, like this one here. You just pluck them by hand and give it a little inspection, remove any fallen leaves, cut back any stems that looked any discolored or sickly, prevent any rotting, and then watering the plant about once a week when it gets dry. And we'll check in on this a little bit later in the spring. If you've got any gardening questions, I do want to hear from them. Email me here at the station, tjoyce@wgntv.com. Send me pics of your problem plants. Let me know where you live as well. Coming up next, our top stories and another look at the forecast.